Okay, my name is Emma Blackburn. I grew up in Mill Valley, and now I live in San Francisco. And I have done art all my life, I would say. And I have done art all my life, I would say. Like my roommate tells me I have too many hobbies. Any form of art that you can name, I have tried or currently do. So painting, acrylic and watercolor, collaging, that's why I have like all these magazines, photography, film, digital. I tried sewing, I was not good. I tried knitting, I was not good. Crochet, not for me. Ceramics, also not for me. I've tried air dry clay, a little more success. Drawing, cartooning, digital drawing, anything. But currently, screen printing is probably screen printing and just painting. In college, I thought I wanted to be an art director, which is essentially the person who like photoshops advertisements and comes up with the idea. And I did a program at school for 1 year, and they told me to switch careers. And I realized that I don't like being told what to do creatively, so I didn't want to do something where I would be making art or having a concept or anything, because I don't want to be told what to do and I don't like feedback, which I think is why I've run Reaper Heaters by myself for the most part, because I want to be making things that I like, and I feel like if I let people give me feedback, it turns into something that I don't like. I graduated college early, moved home, super bored, didn't have a job, but a lot of my friends lived at home and I wanted a hobby. So I was thinking about when I was in Austin in school and I saw someone like printing a shirt in the park, and you could design it however you wanted and then you got to take it home right then. And I just thought that was like the coolest thing in the world. I wanted to like make a shirt that made people be like, oh, that's cool, and I haven't seen that. My parents were always like super supportive of hobbies and creative and sports and anything like that. So they kind of helped me get the initial screen printing stuff, because I will say it's not a very cheap hobby. Like there is a lot of upfront things that you need. I had Illustrator from school because I majored in advertising, so you had to take creative classes. Just started drawing some things that I thought would be cool. Reaper Haters was born because I wanted to make things that my friends also wanted to wear. I was driving home from my friend's house one night and I was thinking they called cigarettes heaters. And I was like, that's so funny. And I was like, wouldn't it be funny if there was like a skeleton smoking a cigarette? And I was like, skeleton, like Reaper. I was like, Reaper Heaters. And that was literally it. It was like 15 minutes in the car. I wanted it to be like a whole like fake brand. That was kind of the joke for me, was if people like believed it was real. And I do get texts from people all the time being like, oh, I got a comment on my sweatshirt. Like people were asking like, what is that? Which was the end goal for me. So mission accomplished. I think I've kind of like retroactively seen how my job impacts Reaper Heaters. So I kind of try and do Reaper Heaters in that space of like things that I'm not allowed to do at work, like choices I'm not allowed to make, things I'm not allowed to overlook at work, I do with Reaper Heaters because it's more fun. Like I just made a Park Beers sweatshirt, and that was just because I was at the park with my friends and someone said like Park Beers, and I was like, that's hilarious, and I've never seen that on a shirt, and it's like funny, and it's one of those things you see and you're like, oh, cool. Like I do that. So if I'm not inspired by something, it will not happen. Which I think is why I come out with like 4 designs at one time and then I won't have a design for like a year, because it's just kind of whenever it strikes me. Probably not a great business model. I feel like I still run into a lot of hurdles every day. First one is that the screens deteriorate over time, and they already take a lot of work to do, so I don't want to have to make them again. Second hurdle, drying, like actually curing the ink. It has to hit a certain temperature before it cures. And obviously it'll like crack and fade over time. That's just what happens. But I don't have the dryer, so I have to use an iron and then dry it in a like washing machine dryer. So it's kind of an inexact science. Also like a mental hurdle mostly. Like I think it's really cool and I have a lot of fun with it, but I think being like self-promotional is embarrassing. So I don't want to like tell people to buy my stuff. I don't think it's embarrassing for anyone else. I see other people do cool things and I'm like, that's so cool. I would talk about that all the time. But I'm like embarrassed to tell people to like buy my sweatshirts or even tell them it exists. So I like convinced myself that all my friends are just too nice. So like a mental hurdle of like people actually do like them, and I get random people ordering them. It's not just like my mom's ordered like 60 of them. I feel like a lot of it boils down to like expression. Like a lot of my paintings are like song lyrics. I have like a few in my room. They're like all related to like song lyrics that I feel like relate to whatever I'm going through. And same thing with like Reaper heaters. Like it totally is just a form of expression. Like I wanted to do it because I wanted like to wear something cool that looked unique, which I guess is representative of like me wanting to be unique. I like the idea of like having something tangible that I've done, like something that I can say like, oh, that's mine, and because it's fun. I mean, my favorite part of Reaper heaters is probably like a few times I've been just in San Francisco and I've like seen people wearing my sweatshirts, and that is the coolest thing ever, because not only did they buy the sweatshirt, but then they were like, oh, I'm gonna wear this one. So that's like probably why I keep printing. Anything else? Yes, follow Reaper Heaters on Instagram. It's Reaper, Reaper, heaters. And that's the only social media we have.